Ken wins again.
Ken wins again.
So, some things. Nathan says, the reason why you might want to go in that order is because of the coalitions, but
left and right side of the aisle, basically.
Yeah. And it says it's often pretty rough for the KPD and DMVP to be in government. Handicaps their most reliable path to winning, i.e. coups.
Yeah.
So usually they only do it to get handicap the SPD or the Zentrum if they're running away with it. So that's a fair point. That's fair. Again, we've only played it well now.
Yeah, I would try it. I think there's some cards for me that can help me get seats here. So I think being in government and having some stability could not be bad.
Yeah, settle down, right? You just want to settle down. It's getting older and
just settle down
into all these revolts,
to a nice Bolshevist
right?
state.
Right.
That's what I want to settle down into.
I mean, that's certainly some bull.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
we're on the gulag now.
Right, yeah. So, okay. All right. Unfortunately, the game ended after one round. That I have read.
Can happen.
Can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen.
It can happen. It is enough.
It's a lot of energy.
So the question I have is, it's fragile.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah.
What do you think of the game?
Who do we start with?
Follow your heart. All right, John, you first.
Yeah. So in games, I like asymmetry. Asymmetrical factions are really enjoyable for me. It just brings variety to the game. I also really enjoy games with instant win conditions. However, I really wanted to keep playing.
Yeah,
I really did.
I
started to get into a groove here. It's just exciting. There's a lot of exciting things happening.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this all week.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, since we played it last week, I've been championing it a bit to get this played.
So that's somewhat disappointing, but it just makes me want to play it again. Because I think we can push it a little further. I just the theme in it is unbelievable. I mean, I was razzing you a little bit about you increasing inflation to the point of no return.
I had no choice.
But I mean, that is thematic. That happens in real life too, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. My only real gripe is the dice rolls. That's just a personal thing about games. I mean, you have to be okay with having a bad roll. I happen to have a good one at that point. But the game is beautiful too. I mean, the dual layer player board is awesome. The components are great.
To be clear, it's a dual layer main board, not
board.
player
True,
boards.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. And his other games I really enjoy too. Rococo is a great game, and this is completely different than that, which is awesome. But no, it's exciting. There's something exciting about this game for sure.
Yeah, and Nathan's like, you could just pretend you'd rolled non-impoverished cities for the sake of the video to see more of the game. We could, but we're not going to. And the reason for that is, you know what? It just motivates us to stream it again, and I think we
100%.
all are gonna want to
Absolutely.
do that. So
Yeah.
And the more we understand the game, the more competitive it's going to be.
100%, right?
Already felt more competitive today than it did the first play.
Yeah. Oh, it felt. I mean, it's one of those games to where you're like, oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas this, that was kind of the second instance of, didn't realize that. Okay, noted. Right. So it helps. Like, you and I just recorded the our review of Evacuation.
Yeah.
Look, the rules are pretty straightforward.
They really
overall
are. Although obviously we missed. There
are a couple things that we missed. As part of learning the game. My point is, you can read the rules, but the impact of things don't hit you
not at all.
until you see them. Then you're like, oh.
Every action has a consequence.
Yeah,
like even this.
Yeah.
If Ken started putting more of these out, he would push his piece out. You know,
Right.
So far the consequence seems to be Ken wins. That's the action in the consequence.
Well, thematically too, they're under the radar. It says that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's hard to see them coming, even though there's pink all over the board.
Right. So
Well, and I
does
think
stand
that
out.
I think it's meant that, like, we're starting right after the revolution of 1917.
Right.
And
The Bolshevik Revolution, right?
You're pumped up.
In Soviet Union, communism has some momentum.
Yeah.
The Spartacist Revolution in Germany happens pretty soon after that. So,
Right.
like, thematically, stuff should be happening for me early in the game.
Yeah.
So
So
I think you kind of have to ride that out.
I was gonna say you got to kind of squash it,
yeah.
and then you'll be able to get there, right?
I have not played a lot of card-driven war games. I've played Twilight Struggle and I've played this. Twilight Struggle felt the same way, where to me it just felt like, oh boy, the Soviets just like a little bit got you on your back foot, and you have to fight your way out. That could just be because I'm very bad at it and don't realize what's going on.
You should tune in tomorrow. He's gonna play the Soviets, and he has a lot of experience with it.
But this feels like a firefighting game, like a co-op game, where to me, in that the three of us are trying to kind of put out some fires. The two of us are trying to put out fires.
He's trying to start some fires.
He's starting different fires, but also doesn't want these fires to catch on. Yeah.
But he starts slow, it seems like.
I do.
Yeah.
We're trying to put out grass fires, and he's trying to start like chemical fires or whatever,
Big
right?
ones,
Like grease
yeah.
fires.
I mean, this is as close to a coin game as you can get for a Euro, in my opinion.
If it were any more coin, Rodney Smith would be swooping in here and being like, "Did someone say coin game?" And he would just be
like it is far easier to run and to play this than a coin game. So I would say one of the huge advantages, just off the top of my head here, is if a coin is a step too far, but historical, I don't want to say war games, but period games, if you will. If you're still into that, oh my God, this is really good in that regard. I think.
Demon mechanics, just
I feel like this is, I mean, maybe I'm off base. I feel like this is to coin games as like City of the Big Shoulders is to like an 18xx game, where it's like, do you like the stock part of City of the Big Shoulders? Yeah. Do you like the card play of coin games, but not all the fiddly moving around on a map? Like, this game might be for you.
I could see that, yeah. Now, look, people are going to see this and be like, wait a minute, 3 hours and y'all only got through one round?
Well,
keep in mind, we're stepping through this real slowly, like for the
and
stream.
we really didn't start till 6:30.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's playing.
Our next stream of this is going to be a little bit more. It's going to be less of the camera doing its job and more of us just getting to it to try and show that in that regard. All right. So, but yeah, I'm so disappointed that I don't get to do more.
Yeah.
We still have yet to make it into the orange and much less the brown
so many cards we
and,
haven't seen yet.
There's a lot here that I really want to dig into this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I mean, man. A thing that makes me know that I like a game is in an asymmetrical setup like this is if I want to try the other positions.
Yeah.
And I really would like to try kind of all three of the other positions.
Yes.
You can see what makes each of them interesting. And I've only seen my own deck.
Yeah.
So I know what's in there, but I don't know what's in any of your decks. And it just feels like each of them are powerful in their own way, and each of them have like big challenges they have to deal with.
Speaking of the last game we played, I elected to go with the economy cards into my deck first.
Yep.
And that really helped this.
Oh, the DR box.
Yeah,
okay.
it helped.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it helped. It helped against the DR box. It helped clear out all the inflation out of the DR box.
Yeah.
And then made it so that inflation could never get added to it again.
Yeah.
And that was great. And then Ken comes along and goes, boom, 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 4 councils. And I'm looking through my deck and I say, oh, here are the cards in the S group of cards that lets me get rid of Ken's council threat tokens. So that's why I elected to go with that one.
So it's interesting, right? Like, did you overcorrect?
Yes.
Or could you have gone that way to knock out inflation and then hope that we are more cognizant of the councils?
And I'm definitely sure that I missed the signals early on about how should I start? How should I...
Sure.
Well, that's why it benefits us to take the game as long as possible, because you get more decks.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting with the decks, like the more cards are in your deck, the less predictable your draw is going to be.
That's true.
So I have another deck I would like to put into play too, but I think I might wait a round or two to let this thin out a little bit.
Plus, it also lets you reshuffle.
Yeah, that's right.
So. Yep. There is that. And one thing, so Shoatan says, 40 to 60 minutes per round is one thing we haven't mentioned. It's a 4-player only game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. Like, there's no, we have 3. No, it's 4 players only. So keep that in mind. And so it's roughly, I'd say, I said at the beginning, it's about an hour per round, it feels like.
Yep.
So maybe 40 to 60 minutes seems pretty reasonable for that. Yeah, and I'm stoked. And the funny thing is, to me, we just recently did that review. We're talking about longevity of games and replayability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I not only want to play my faction again, but then I'm gonna want to play all like this. This game has massive legs for me.
When this game showed up, it showed up in a big box. I honestly forgot that it was coming. It's a very large box. Oh, hello, Lincoln.
Lincoln wants some airtime.
Yeah. When this game showed up, I was like, oh, I guess I did back that, didn't I? And it's been sitting on my my shelf of opportunity for a while. And actually, I found myself saying a couple of times, oh man, I've been really focusing on trimming my collection down, and I probably wouldn't have backed this if this were coming up now, because it just doesn't seem like it's in my wheelhouse or anything like that. I have never regretted a feeling more in my life. I absolutely am glad that I backed this game, and I absolutely am excited to play it here again, and I'm excited to bring it home and play with my other friends that I play games with as well. Yeah, Edward, I do play games with other people. I'm sorry, man. This is just how it is. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been more wrong about my assessment of a game. I don't think ever. So I'm really, really excited. I think I'm very glad that Past Me decided to back this.
Yeah, good job by Past
Me. High five to
high five through time.
Right, yeah, for sure.
I think one of the most appealing things about it too is the emergent gameplay. Like you said, you read the rules, you're not really sure what's going to happen, but then it just starts to bubble up.
Yep.
In a way that's really interesting. And the table talk that this game produces is awesome.
Agreed. Yep.
I told you about the threat box.
He did mention it, and there you go.
Yeah,
I know.
Somebody else in chat was like, "That seems a concern." And
when you lose the game box is that full that early, that's concerning.
It is fragile in a sense that, from what I'm gathering, again, it's 2 plays in. Take it with a grain of salt. What I'm gathering is, if the game is if you're going to mess up something in a sense that, we didn't keep something in check.
Yeah.
Right.
The communists are probably the likely recipients of the benefit of
in the early game.
That's what I'm saying. If the game ends early, they seem like they're going to be the beneficiary.
Imagine what the gameplay is going to be like when we start introducing those jerks.
Well, they didn't win, so we're all winners.
Yeah, right. There's that. Anarchy beats Nazis.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
but I think your faction, it's yet to be seen.
Snowball.
Yes, exactly. I think you'll pick up
start, it's asymmetric start, right? The SPD starts strong.
Yeah.
I start weak, and then it's honestly, in that regard, it reminds me of Three Kingdoms Redux, that there are 3 factions, and they inverse the longer the game goes. So it behooves the faction that starts strong to end it early.
Yeah.
In this one, they need to keep the communists at bay while also keeping the DMVP from getting too strong while racking up victory points.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense, because in the end, your faction was the strongest.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
So.
Was the strongest.
Well, they ended up.
In the real world, in the end,
they were able to go in coalition.
Right. So that thematically, again, it makes sense.
And what
even
Paul
though
said,
it doesn't feel good.
Germany was fragile at that point.
Yeah,
so,
checks out, right?
Nice.
It could have. Hold on. The Nazis don't come into power if they don't have a really unstable and really displeased.
Yeah, there was a vacuum. And
there you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
What a passion project. What a labor of love, I think.
Yeah.
And wow, did they bring it home, dude, in the production.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, the board is massive.
Yeah.
Hand.
Do we want to get that 4K PTC zoom
no,
all the way in there?
No, we do.
See
not.
the open pores on our hands.
You're right. So no, it's gorgeous, and to be honest with you, not as big a table hog as you would think.
Not at all.
Everything is right here within your player board area, right? Honestly, you could have your victory points just stacked up right here.
Yeah.
And so you only need that area for your player board area.
Keep them in your pocket. Just
Right.
put them there.
Yeah, no bigger than any common like modern Europe.
Right.
Yeah.
My point is, all this area is empty,
Yeah.
right? All this area down there, up there, but at the same time,
Yeah, we got some pieces off.
I
the side
mean,
there.
there's all this stuff. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So it's not a massive table hog, but it's
It's
not small.
I'd
Yeah,
call it 2.5 to 3 hogs out of 5.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Scott says you should consider playing. And we didn't even mention this. Comes with a scenario book
Yeah.
to
Sure.
where
We just-
turns 5 and 6.
It just starts us right at turn 5 and 6.
Right.
Hence, dancing on a volcano.
And I would
Yeah,
assume
right,
I would
yeah.
assume like bad stuff has already happened
As-
at
yeah.
that point, right?
Yep.
So
I imagine.
I think there's multiple scenarios as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shorter
Sure.
games.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just wanted to play the whole shebang and then see where it went. But there you go.
Yeah, made it
and again,
one.
I'd be happy to just play a base game several more times.
Look,
Agreed.
what time is it? 8:49. Like I wouldn't actually kind of not be opposed to like if we shut this stream down and like want to play again.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
I'm Edward.
Yeah, sure.
So,
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so that's it. That's Weimar, or at least round 1 of Weimar.
That's right.
Certainly appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If so, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really appreciate it. You and I will be back. Looks like noon.
Probably not noon.
Okay, later in tomorrow. Watch social media if you're a patron. Watch Slack for what time we're gonna do Twilight Struggle.
Yeah.
You have like 50 plus plays of Twilight Struggle. I have 3 or 4.
4 now.
Yeah, I think 4 total.
Yeah.
You got a chance.
So yeah, I mean, hey, it was close.
Yeah.
You were hanging in there last time.
I was hanging there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, that's a wrap. Y'all have a great night. I'm Edward.
John.
All.
Ken.
Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're out of here. Y'all have a good night. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching, y'all. If you enjoyed the video, and the fact that you're still watching leads me to believe that, hey, you did, maybe watch one of those videos or subscribe to the channel. Consider supporting us over on Patreon. Really does help the channel. Really appreciate it, y'all.